Yes, there are the Daleks, there are the Cybermen, there are the Centaurans, there are even the intelligence or the great intelligence. Yes, we have those repeated villains, including people like the Master. But what about those unsung heroes of villainy? What about those guys or girls who were a villain for one episode and they just don't get enough love? We're talking about those. Hello guys, welcome, or if you've already seen my channel before, welcome back. I'm the Philadelphia Whovian, and yes guys, for this video, we're doing a top 10 ranking of the one-off villains of Doctor Who. Doctor Who is a show that's run from 1963 to present day. That many years of a show, it's going to have some really great, delicious villains in there that sometimes get overlooked because they're not the heavy hitters. And for those of you guys who have seen my channel before, you're thinking, the lighting is really strange. It is. I'm trying something new. I figured I'd try a different lighting, give another, more classical feel. And let me know in the comment section if it's just too unbearable to look at. And I'll accept the reality that just maybe I had the worst possible idea to, do a video with. Either way, for those of you guys who are new to my channel, welcome. And just warning you all right now, for those who have not seen my channel before, I am a YouTuber who sits in front of the camera and just talks. I lack any technological skill whatsoever. I'm just a talker. Literally, as Tegan puts it, a walking mouth. So hopefully you guys can weather together. Just let's bear through this. Alright, and I'm also going to give a disclaimer right from the very beginning. Guys, with a list like this, with a show running this long, my list of top 10 one-off villains is going to be completely different than yours. In fact, you're probably going to be angry with me because the characters that you thought deserved to be on the top 10 list are not on my list. It's because this show is so old. There's no possible way I can get all of the great villains on one top 10 list. What do you want? What can I do? I don't know. So guys, without further ado, we're getting with our top 10 list. Starting at number 10. I admit, guys, I'm cheating with this. Number 10, we have the Time Meddler, or the Meddling Monk. From the first episode he was in, the Time Meddler. Why am I cheating with this? Because technically, the Time Meddler, or the Meddling Monk, was in 2 stories. He was in the Time Meddler, his premiere story in the first Doctor's era, and also in the first Doctor's era, he was in the Daleks' Master Plan. But he's not the overarching villain in the Daleks' Master Plan. So, I'm cheating. And I'm putting him on this list anyway. You know why? Because the Meddling Monk does not get enough love. The Meddling Monk is also he's more of an anti-hero than he is a full and outright villain, or he's more of he's the antithesis to the Doctor, or he's just an antagonist to the Doctor. But the Time Meddler, or the Meddling Monk, has really good intentions. I mean, I suppose you could make that argument that all villains have very good intentions, but the Meddling Monk really does have good intentions. He wants to change history to improve it, to make it better, but he doesn't have that right, and by doing that, he can make things infinitely worse. But what a really good foil, sorry if I said that word very sloppily, a very good foil for the Doctor to bounce off of. And I think he's, again, a very, very, very great villain, very underrated, and he could always come back. Alright, number 9. From the 4th Doctor's era, from the Pyramid of Mars story, Sutekh. Sutekh is an Egyptian god who literally is there to wreak havoc in this story, and boy is he delicious. Oh boy, do I like that he's there. Why? Again, the idea of a mythological character, or a religious character from a polytheistic religion, either way. A character from mythology, religion, legend, either way, being brought in and having some sort of magical ability into the world of Doctor Who. Sutekh, by his very definition, by his very presence, increases the world of Doctor Who and what you could do with Doctor Who, and importantly, what you can do with a Doctor Who villain. They don't have to be the same thing. No, the idea of a mythological character or a religious character being a villain for the Doctor to bounce off of. Very good idea, and his presence, very good story. I believe it was written by Robert Holmes, but it was originally written by somebody else, and then Robert Holmes had to come in and finish the story. Either way, whosever idea this was, very good idea, very good story, very good backdrop for Sutekh. I don't think Sutekh should have a comeback. I think it's best if Sutekh stays where he is and is just in this episode, but while he's there, his presence, or the very threat of his presence, the possibility of his presence, weighs on everything. He's like Sauron in that way. You don't see him very much, but his presence is really felt. And when I say Sauron, I mean Sauron from Lord of the Rings. Now we got that figured out. Okay, there we go. Okay, so number 8. From the 12th Doctor's first season, I call these creatures, even though it's not their technical term, I call them that, the Flatliners. From the episode Flatline. Truth is, I even call the episode Flatliners. I just call it that. What I do? But Flatliners, this alien species, these creatures, they are terrifying, they're menacing, and they're very creative. They're very good of a villain for the 12th Doctor to bounce off of and create a good backdrop and a good story for the characters to work around. It's a villain that works really good with the environment it's in. So, from a budget concept, it's very budget friendly, while at the same time being very electric of a villain to see for the Doctor and Clara to bounce off of, as well as the other characters who are, in fact, in that particular episode. Very menacing, very haunting, very chilling. It gets the job done. Number 7, from the 10th Doctor's last season, Silence in the Library, 2-parter, the villains, of course, the Vashta Nerada. Oh god, these guys are great. Okay, you guys know, okay, I'm going to assume you've all seen the Vashta Nerada. You don't need me to explain what they are. But the idea of them being in the spacesuits, and then they take over the entire person, kill them, and all that's left is a skeleton walking around. And it's only a matter of time before it gets to you two. Oh, good old Moffat genius there. Absolutely wonderful. Love the Vashta Nerada. Okay, and number 6. From the 5th Doctor's last season and very last episode, from the Caves of Androzani, Shiraz Jek. I know technically the real villain is Chelak. If you've seen Cave of Androzani, you know who Chelak is. He's the main villain who is the reason why Shiraz Jek is where he is and why Shiraz Jek has become what he's become. But I'm putting Shiraz Jek in here because he's such a great villain, because even though he has a lot of goodness to him, he's not an overall evil person. He's the person who, due to the situation he's in, has been forced to become what he has become, and as a result, he's become villainous, but he's really a tragic hero more than anything else, and that's why he's high on this list. He's not just evil for evil's sake. He's evil because he was put in this situation, even though he was probably a very nice guy originally, a very handsome, clearly attractive man, which is oozing with elegance and grace. That's another thing about why he's where he is. He's a villain that oozes charm, elegance, grace, suavity, even gentility. And his obsession with Peri is creepy, but you love to watch it. You know you do. You may be creepy, but it's okay to be creepy in this circumstance. You know you like seeing Shiraz Jek creep on Peri. It's disgusting, you feel bad for Peri, but it's incredibly haunting to watch, therefore you can't take your eyes off him. He moves gracefully. He's just so incredible, and as a result, again, he's a tragic hero put in this situation because of Chelak. So he's become what he's become almost because he's had no choice but to become ruthless in this way. So you feel for him as a villain. It's very good to every now and again create that villain who the audience feels sorry for. Very good idea. So, number 5. Yes, we're now in the middle of the list. From the 5th Doctor's second season, I believe is the second last story to his second season and the end of the Black Guardian trilogy, from the episode Enlightenment, the Eternals. Okay, the Eternals are these characters that exist almost outside of time. So when they die, you can't even see them die. They just disappear. And they're on this race and this race is the prize for this race. Sorry if I'm getting tongue-tied here. The prize for this race is they receive enlightenment. So they're on this race to achieve enlightenment. They take people from their planets and they manipulate their mind to make people think that they're on a ship or on a location or something of their native planet, but really they're on a ship in reality. They're on a ship that's headed to a goal line for them to achieve enlightenment. These characters are vicious, ruthless, but again have an elegance to them that makes them very enjoyable to watch. Very creative idea, the Eternals. Barbara Clegg did a fantastic job coming up with them, just like Robert Holmes did a very good job coming up with Shiraz Jack, Moffat the Bachelor Narada, and Matheson for Flatliners, and Bob Holmes, or whoever wrote the original script for Sutekh, etc. and so forth, and Dennis Spooner for The Time Meddler or The Meddling Monk. Either way, very delicious characters. Now we get to number 4. Alright. From, I think, is this the first time I'm doing the 11th Doctor, a villain from the 11th Doctor era? I think it's the first time I'm doing it. I think so. Alright, so, from the 11th Doctor's first season, the Dream Lord, in the episode Amy's Choice. The Dream Lord, what can I not say about this guy? Oh god, he is just so cool. The idea of, I know that it's just some dream dust that they inhaled in the TARDIS that made them into this dreamlike state that took the Doctor's darker side and made him corporeal. Almost like a Jekyll and Hyde, where the Dream Lord is the Hyde to the Doctor's Jekyll, as it probably is with the Valeyard in the Sixth Doctor's era. But either way, the Dream Lord is there to manifest them and gives them 2 ultimatums of what is the dream world, what is the real world. And he psychoanalyzes them all while he's doing this. Very cool to witness, very, very cool to see. And as a result, he's just an actor that got to play him. It's such a unique actor who plays him that he sticks in your mind, and you wish he's more than just a person that is created from them consuming dream dust. But maybe he could be, for all we know. The idea of the Dream Lord returning, that's a cool concept. Okay, so now we got number 3. So, okay, this is, I'm going to go right out and say this. Okay, number 3. All the villainous characters from the 1 episode of the 7th Doctor's era, greatest show in the galaxy. Okay, guys, I know that technically the real villains are just the gods of Ragnarok, who are there to force these people to entertain them. I am aware of this. But at the end of the day, the humans, they get the choice to serve these gods if they want to. So yes, the gods of Ragnarok, they're awesome because it's just, again, increases the world of what can happen in Doctor Who. They're there and they show just how much you can do things with Doctor Who that is outside of the traditional formula. So they're great, but the clown, oh my god, the clown! Just when he's just, every now and again, he just gets really, like, just does this with his hand. I'm sorry. Like that. Oh my god, the clown. Whoa, that's just something. That clown was so terrifying, and I love it. Then you've got the one guy who's like on safari, the hunter, and he gets the werewolf, so he sticks the werewolf on the Doctor, and then you've got the other, the rapper, who's got the whip, and he's fun to watch too. Every single villainous character in this is delicious. Pick your choice of who do you like most in the greatest show in the galaxy as a villain. Let me know in the comment section. I am really curious. Okay, and now we got number 2. Okay, from the 4th Doctor's, I believe, 2nd season, the last episode of his 2nd season, from Seeds of Doom, Harrison Chase, the environmentalist. Oh, by God, this man. What is there not to love about him as a villain? You love to hate him. And also it's wonderful, he is batshit crazy. I love it. He is batshit crazy. Remember the scene where he's playing the really weird music? Because that's his way of talking to the plants. Remember that? God. That was amazing. Oh, for those who have not seen Seeds of Doom, okay, Harrison Chase is a man who is literally obsessed with plants. Loves plants way more than humans, if he has any love for humans at all, even though he is a human himself. And he is all about acquiring new and rare and exotic plants, and he tries to get his hand on a plant or an egg that has a plant in it in this episode, and this plant is there to take over all of the planet and all of humanity. And you know what? Harrison Chase is all for that. Down with humans, up with plants. And I love how the Doctor and Sarah Jane Smith, they are there to stop the environmentalist, showing that extremity of mindset. People nowadays are very much, in one direction or the other direction, where it's like either you are very PC, very politically correct, it's all about, the environment and all about minorities, all about this and this, but the Doctor in this situation is going against a person who is literally, it's the environmentalist. And the environmentalist, in his extremity of mindset, is the villain of this story. I don't think Harrison Chase could exist in our 21st century Doctor Who, because we don't ever embrace the idea that even the person on the good side of the argument can be a villain as well. And Harrison Chase is a delicious villain, perfectly cast. Oh, I love you, Harrison Chase. And before we get to our number one, because guys, if you're thinking she really forgot so many villains, guys, I didn't forget them. I'm just, what can I do here? So you know what? To please people, I did a very large list of honorable mentions. Honorable mention, Lady Painfort from Silver Nemesis, from the 7th Doctor's era. And then Vivian Fay from the 4th Doctor's era in the episode Stones of Blood. Mrs. Gillyflower from the 11th Doctor's last season in the Crimson Horror. The Daemons from the 3rd Doctor's season, an episode of The Daemons. I'm sorry, 3rd Doctor's 2nd season, in the last episode of The Daemons, is The Creatures of the Daemons. And The Worm from the 4th Doctor's 1st season with the episode Ark in Space. And The Rootons in Horror of Fang Rock. And The Malice from the 5th Doctor's era in the episode The Awakening. And Syl from the 6th Doctor's 1st season, Vengeance on Veros. And The Boss from the 3rd Doctor's 2nd to last season in the episode The Green Death. And I call them the dynamic duo from the Invasion of Dinosaurs. Remember those two people who Yates sided with, who were trying to get humanity back to a golden age, but only taking a certain amount of people with them, while the rest completely get destroyed? I call them the dynamic duo. They're so underrated. Because they're such possible villains. Like, they are villains that could possibly happen even in our world. And then from the 4th Doctor's Season 16, the Erebus Operation, the villain, the Graf Vindicay. This guy is a Shakespearean villain, just right on the page, lived out of the page. Okay? And the Robot Controller from Robots of Death, the guy who was controlling all the robots, I always forget his name, so I just call him Robot Controller, from Robots of Death from the 4th Doctor's episode with Leela. And then from the 11th Doctor's 2nd season, House, the asteroid from the Doctor's wife. And also, from the 3rd Doctor's last episode of his very last season, The Spiders, from Planet of the Spiders. I know I still miss some great villains, but oh god, what can you do? And number one, from the 4th Doctor's 2nd to last season with Romana as his companion in the episode City of Death, who's the villain? Skarroth. Skarroth, excellently cast, excellent villain, a villain who would be, because his ship is exploded and his atoms are broken up as the ship explodes, he keeps living, like particles of himself has been repeated, and there are literally echoes of himself all throughout history, and he's trying to get them all connected one time so all of them could go back in time and save his home planet and save his people. Skarroth is a villain who is evil through and through, yes, but his evil came from good intentions. He wanted to get back to that original place that he was so he could stop his ship and therefore save his people. At the end of the day, this is a villain who's horrible in every way, but had good intentions. So guys, that's my list of top 10 one-off Doctor Who villains. Let me know in the comment section, do you have any favorites yourself? Do you have a whole different list? Either way, there's no right or wrong here. Let me know in the comment section what you feel. So guys, thank you so much. You were awesome in every single way. Bye guys.